Welcome back to the schoolhouse. We are here for another installment of Why Should We Give a Shit? And I'm here today with Matt Gilson. Hello, Matt Gilson.
Hey.
Welcome, and thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so grateful for this. Because for those of you who don't know, Matt is the guy who designed the logo for Professor Boyfriend's Schoolhouse. He made it all nice and pretty, and I like looking at it. It kind of looks like me.
More cartoony.
But more cartoony. But more cartoony.
More should have done anime.
Yeah.
That'll be the next one.
Yeah.
Something to put on a t-shirt.
Yes. So, Matt, you're an artist, yeah.
I am. Some people would call me that.
That's your claim to fame, would you say? When you're not slicing meat?
Yeah. Being a butcher's fun, but, I love art. You can't stay away from it, anything that you're passionate about, so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You should stick to what you're passionate about. I would encourage that.
That's the problem with, like we were just talking about earlier, the how new digital age, everybody just wants it immediately. No one knows patience anymore. So that's
exactly.
See, and that's the problem. Like, people would just I've known so many people that end up getting into art and then they just quit. They just get out. That's the biggest problem with.
Why do they quit?
I don't know. They start smoking too much weed. That's one thing right there.
Oh,
I've seen that.
Lack of motivation.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that happen before. I've seen people just.
Well, it is known to happen. Those who do it too much.
Yeah.
It gives you couch lock, and then you don't get up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh fuck.
People that
I have couch lock. I'm stuck in the couch forever.
People that get into retail and then just stay in retail because it's too easy. Because art's hard. Art's hard to figure out, and so then they get too much into that. So yeah, that's the problem, is that everybody just quits, and rather than actually working towards something. That just goes for anything, really.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're trying to build something, you have to continue building. Like with the podcast, for example.
Yeah.
We're not just going to do one and fucking quit. This is the third one that I'm working on. Simultaneously, I'm working on 3 at once. Because you just gotta get with who's available when and make sure it all works out. But point is, we're not just doing one here. We're doing several, and hopefully with every single episode, the following will get better, bigger. More people will like, more people will share. Once they realize I'm not just a one-hit wonder, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah. Well, that's the plan anyway.
Yeah.
To keep on trucking. This is a fairly cheap endeavor. We have all the equipment. Builds up over time.
But now that's where the new digital age comes into a good thing, right there, because
when you have things like that.
Yeah, everything's at your disposal. So again, there's just no reason to give up, because things have become so much easier now. Like getting your name out, there. All you got to do is put it up on the internet.
Put it up on social media. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
But part of that too is about people actually going out of their way to like something, and more so just liking isn't enough. Sharing, getting the word out, word of mouth. Once you share something, your friends who are not my friends see something.
Yeah.
And then it's they tell 2 friends, and they tell 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on. Right?
Yeah, that one band, Celtic Frost, I remember Tom Fisher, the singer, he said how like the way that they got their name out there was they would like send like letters to these metal magazines just talking about how awesome Celtic Frost was and how amazing their album is, and it was the band members themselves sending it to these magazines, and they would publish it. So it's like, hey, you got to improvise, and I think that right there,
you got to do what you can.
That's perfect. Like,
I mean, maybe we should come up with some kind of crazy ad campaign. I don't know.
I'll put something together.
I don't know. It's I think advertising to an extent is necessary.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sure. Now, for this particular episode too, we're talking a little bit about being a local artist and the struggle, as they call it. I've been involved in other creative projects, mostly musical, but Ohio's not a necessarily receptive audience, I guess. It seems. Maybe it's just me. But people around here don't like to deviate from what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that's the Midwest. Well, no, it's just
Ohio. Yeah.
No, but Ohio is kind of like slowly, progressively becoming something similar to what is it? I think it's Atlanta. Atlanta's become pretty well known because of The Walking Dead, obviously.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
With Donald Glover.
But
Childish. What up?
In Cleveland, they filmed what? What Avengers did they film in Cleveland?
The Avengers?
Or
shit.
Was it some? It
Johnny,
was some Marvel
Johnny
movie.
Yurko would notice.
It was some Marvel movie,
I
but
think he was in it. Wasn't he in that one? He's just everybody's a stuntman. And
but they did something.
I'm pretty sure he was in that. It had to be not the first. Probably not. Maybe the first one.
Oh,
It was either the first one or Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
It was one or two.
But
It was the first one. Mrs. Boyfriend says it's the first one.
But
I lived there when they filmed it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The first Avengers.
yeah, but yeah, it's like little things like that just makes where you're living a little bit like a lot more enjoyable and kind of cool to be around. Because it's like, well, hey, cool. Cleveland's really becoming like something big in the entertainment industry. Maybe it'll progress and become something even more.
Yeah.
Which would be real cool if we had like animation studios and there's I met
More cutting edge thing.
Yeah, I wish I remember the name of the school, but I met a guy at my school, the Cleveland Institute of Art.
Mm-hmm.
He came there to guest speak, and I forget his name, but he wants to open up an art school here in Cleveland, which would be amazing because like he's planning to teach people all about animation, game design, like all the art, the actual art that goes into it, not no programming or anything. It's just all about the actual concept to finish. This cat's going a little wild.
That's an interesting point or concept that you bring up. You talk about game design and things like that, animation. Okay, what's the difference between doing something mass produced like that and then doing, because I guess what I'm saying is it's almost like assembly line work where you're putting all this together for a video game, or you're putting this all together for the next best thing that's going to be in the spotlight for 5 seconds, and then people are going to forget about it. Not so. Is that comparable to, say, a piece that you put your heart and soul into,
like an actual personal one?
Yeah,
you're just gonna try and sell your best, and
yeah. I mean, like how much of that do you get to keep when you work on things like that?
Well, you're allowed to keep it. It's just that you have to make sure that you credit the fact of what it was made for.
Right.
At least that's just my experience. Other people might have a completely different story. I think it was like the Halo games or something like that. I heard that like they're allowed to show the work that they did it, yeah, but by end of the day, it belongs to Bungie, you know.
Right.
The artwork, but
yeah. The company's product.
Yeah, exactly. Which that's fine. I mean, that's completely understandable.
Oh yeah.
But then there's other.
They know what they're getting into, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In the first place.
But like the book that I was in by the Encounters with the Imaginary by Bone Shaker Press, the artwork's ours.
You brought that with you, right?
I did. We
Why don't you show the boys and girls?
That's the first volume. There's a second one too. When they're working on a third one right now.
That's awesome. What's that about?
I don't know what the third one's about yet, which I'm really excited for. I don't want to spoil it for myself, so I'm not really like
no spoilers
on anything on it. I want to just get the book and do it. But the first one is all about our work process and how we actually get a painting done from start to finish. And
how long does that take?
Like for this, we had a 1 month deadline, and that was perfect because most of us, I mean, at least.
So it took you a whole month to put that together.
Just to do the artwork.
Okay.
No, the whole process of putting the book out that took months.
Months,
but
But the artwork part.
The artwork for this one, I don't know. It took me like 2 weeks to actually.
Is that
get
a werewolf?
it all done. It is a werewolf.
That is a pretty badass werewolf. I would not want that within an inch of me.
It's my painting of. It's called the White Beast. It's like got a Prohibition era going on. That's what the story of this is, because that's another thing that we added in was an actual story, which is perfect. Any type of storytelling you can do. But the story of this was his partner during Prohibition got bit and turned into a werewolf, and then at the end it was set loose into the city, into Atlantic City, which is Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
So
it's bad news is what it is.
Yeah, but overall, it shows all of our. I mean, this is awesome. Our process and everything. The little body poses that I would set up my camera and just pose myself to how would a werewolf look, or jumping towards something.
I wish I could have seen those pictures.
But
they probably would have been funny.
Exactly what it is. But yeah, overall, amazing book, amazing project to be a part of. The second volume was just all story, and it was like nice little iteration pieces that we did. I ended up doing Monster in a Closet, and I did.
Well, I wrote a poem like that one.
I did the actual anatomy of it, the muscle structure, the skull structure of the monster.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it'd be fun to do like an illustrated poetry book.
Yeah, it's been done. And,
yeah, well, I mean, it wouldn't be anything new. Obviously,
it can continue to be done. Yeah.
But I mean, the uniqueness of the artwork and the uniqueness of the words would make it something new, right?
Yeah, it's your own story.
Maybe. Who knows? I don't know a lot. Right? So, you're still in school, right?
Going into my sophomore year at CIA. It sounds funny now you say that.
And you're getting your degree in what?
Illustration.
Yep.
I love how there's like so many art schools out there that like it shows the percentage rate of getting accepted into a school. It's very could be very low.
Mm-hmm.
And at the Cleveland Institute of Art, it's the same thing. So, once you get accepted into the school, it's a good feeling. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Very good accomplishment.
Feeling. I remember getting accepted to places.
Which schools? I know you went to Youngstown University.
I went to. There's a program called the Neo MFA program. It's a consortial degree program for the creative writing arts, basically poetry, fiction, whatever. A lot of people go to school to get a job or something like that. I did not go to school for that. I didn't want to do that. I went to school to become a better writer. And did it accomplish that goal? Yes, it did. However, turning that into, I guess, a lucrative career is very not so easy.
No.
It's a little peanutsy. A little bit. To be honest. They don't teach you a lot about the business side of the writing world.
Yeah,
they don't teach you. They don't teach you a lot about publishing. They don't teach you the stuff that you could use to turn your writing into money.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, the overall business aspect of it. Yeah, exactly.
Poets don't have agents. And there's not a lot of money in poetry anyway, and I knew that going into it. But becoming a professional poet, quote unquote, is not a thing.
Not anymore, unfortunately.
No. In fact, poetry and academia go hand in hand, and if you're not in academia, you're not going to be much of a poet.
Really? I never even thought of that.
There's not. Well, it's true.
It makes sense.
This is where we learn more. This is where we learn about poetry. This is where we read poetry. Outside in the real world, we read Twilight. The next fucking
Facebook post Trump's
dime a dozen book series.
Mm-hmm.
The Sookie Stackhouse books, or the new John Grisham novel, or whatever. Comic books, whatever. But not a lot of people pick up poetry, and that in itself, being a part of a small niche, and me being extra weird on top of that, it's difficult. I don't know what kind of experience you have in this area as far as that goes, but do they teach you these kinds of things in art school? What happens after?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how well do they prepare you for that?
The best one that I had was the Oldie Academy. Amazing artist and just an overall great guy, Chris Oatley. He taught us a lot in our mentorships that we did. He taught us a lot, but he also has his videos on his YouTube, which are awesome too. I mean, almost everything that guy does is just incredible. But that's what he taught us, and that was just an online school that he taught us all about the business aspect of it. That's a lot of the things that he said was about that. So yeah, I mean, especially getting it from someone like him who is a former Disney animator, just perfect. You can't ask for anything better than that, than to get taught by someone who is actually in the industry or has been in the industry. Once you learn from people like that, your education doesn't get any better. It just keeps skyrocketing from there.
Yeah.
Because you're just open up to so many different realizations about everything. So yeah, the business understanding the business aspect of anything that you're getting involved with is gonna, and just increase your skill and technique.
Oh, absolutely.
Force you to do better.
Oh, yeah.
Every single day, constantly drawing, constantly writing, thinking of the next note for your guitar, for your band, like
Right.
everything, music, whether that doesn't matter if it's music, literature, art, you gotta give it your all.
Oh, yeah.
To have the business, to have the
You do. You definitely do.
get the.
I think a big problem I have is that I have so many ideas in my head, and it's ridiculous. And it's like half the time my brain's racing like a million miles an hour, or a million miles a second. I don't know. Fast, really fucking fast. Okay. And I think it's really hard to capture sometimes. Which is why a lot of times I write ideas down. And when you have so many ideas, you have to figure out like where you want to put that energy, right, and how you want to concentrate it. And that's why, doing a podcast is really awesome, because this is a place where we can talk about all these ideas and we can throw them out there, and we can make them a reality. I remember just like sitting here with Jeffy and bullshitting about what we might do, and now we've done it, and it's a thing now. So like it's a really good feeling.
Yeah.
So I wonder how what you think about that in your experience.
I think it's encouraging more than anything. Just seeing somebody else complete a project. That's why things like like with Bone Shaker, that's just an amazing project with it. Everything about that, because you have all these artists coming together to form just one big project.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing with making a movie.
Right.
Yeah,
I've done that too.
So I mean, when you see all these things out there, I mean, it's just. But bottom line is, you come together and you work and execute that project. Just keep going in that right path. Perfect. So yeah, it's encouraging to see that happen.
And it feels really good when it's done.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then you're like, wow, I did something. Like I made this. So all of you out there who have these hopes and dreams and things you want to do, just fucking do them.
Don't ever quit.
It's really that easy.
Don't quit.
I mean, and that's the hard part is, believe in yourself, right? And make sure that you're staying consistent and that you're living up to your own expectations. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of fall off the wagon, so to speak. They lose faith in themselves. They don't think their work is good enough, or something like that. If you keep at it and you keep sharing your stuff, eventually somebody's going to see it, and the right person's going to share it someday. And then you're going to start getting phone calls, maybe. I mean, I don't want to get people's hopes up here, but, you never know what could happen if you keep up with it.
And failure's good.
What?
Failure is good. Is a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Failure, we always learn from our failures what we did wrong last time.
I remember hearing, the only thing that you can learn from failure is that is exactly that you learn. There really is no bad outcome of it. You just learn from it.
Well, right, yeah. That's how a lot of people learn from experience. Picking up from where you left off before, from wherever you fell, climb back up, and try again. And even reinvent yourself.
And even that, like when you feel like it's all over, like the only time it's completely over is
When you say it is.
Once again, yeah, when you say it is when you quit,
Right.
when you give up. Because all the rest of it and everything, if you're able to still get back up, then right there, that's not even a failure. That's just like a learning experience. The only failure you can really do is just straight up give up. You know.
Right. So there essentially is no failure then.
Just that one, just that one of giving up. You know.
Right.
That's it.
But you only fail when you believe you do.
Mm-hmm.
Despite what other people might think.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fuck those other people. So, what are your plans for your future, near future? Do you have any projects you're working on now?
Right now,
other than this new book?
I'm only in the first two. Yeah, I'm only in the first two volumes.
Oh, so you're not in this one?
No, I'm not in the third one, which makes me even more excited.
Oh,
because I don't know anything about it. And I'm just so excited to read the next installment of Encounters with the Imaginary.
Of what you've already created. This is building upon the previous.
Hope so. I mean, that'd be interesting to see just the direction that they're taking, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah.
Can't wait. But yeah, like I'm where most of my focus is going towards school, which it should because
as it should.
Yeah.
Because you don't go to school and half-ass it.
No.
Otherwise, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah. But the next project that that I'm currently working on is with a good friend of mine. We are working on a board game.
Oh.
Yes, the board game.
Board games are cool.
And it's awesome because they're making a comeback. You know, you'll see.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, you'll see all of these.
I'm an owner of several board games.
Yeah, you'll see these YouTubers that are gamers. They're actually taking a break from all the actual video games and they're going to board games, which is so cool to see.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, what is that? Moonlight Massacre? Is that
a YouTube channel?
No, it's a board game that I keep seeing advertised or something. But it's like this 80s horror slasher board game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I keep seeing it
I would love
advertised
it.
on Facebook all the time. I can't remember the entire name of it. If I do, I'll put it on the screen or something during the video. But yeah, it looked like fun.
That looks amazing. Well, it sounds amazing.
So, how far along in development are you with this?
Oh, we're still in the early stages, but we know exactly where we're going with it, and
are you allowed to talk about what it's about, or is this like Fight Club? We can't talk about it?
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
The third rule is we
you know what it's called?
Can talk about it. Yes, it's called Avalanche, and
Avalanche.
That is also. I mean, essentially, we're not just working on.
It sounds dangerous.
What it all centers around is building your player up to battle the final boss, which is the Eye.
Okay.
The
is
almighty
it like
Eye.
a deck building game?
No, just a item collecting game.
Okay.
Build up your character. Once you gain, for example, a fire item, then you get an extra attack die. So that idea.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Hello, Pandu.
Cat is all about everything. I like the attention.
She does like the attention. She's a little attention whore, this kitty.
But essentially, since we're building a game, this is the first game that we're doing, so we're building up an actual company too, which is called Avalanche Games.
Tight.
So, yeah, we are very excited to keep moving forward with it, and again, just one more time, not giving up.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
well, that's kind of cool too. Just trying new things and branching out there.
It's awesome. I mean,
If you ever need a writer, hit me up.
Yeah. My friend, he's the one, and by the way, his name is Paul Lamana. He's the one who really came up with the overall idea. I'm just putting a face on it.
Nice.
Like, I mean, he deserves so much credit because, like, you know, I would have never been able to think about that. But, which is the interesting part because, you know, you did your fair share of teaching, and he is also a teacher, and I just thought I think that's a perfect combination as a teacher making a game. It's perfect because, you know, that's what you always do. You know, as a
Right.
as a
Panda
as a
wants some
teacher.
beer, I guess.
Yeah, apparently. As a teacher.
Okay. As a teacher, go ahead.
As a teacher, it's all about, you know, building puzzles, everything for your class. You know, they have to study it and they have to.
Well, one would think that.
Well, yeah, true.
But you know, if you've seen the previous episode of Professor Boyfriend, we talk a little bit about academia and how the classes now are pretty much cookie cutter classes, where you have somebody come up with the curriculum, and they kind of tell everybody else that this is what they want to teach.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they want them to teach, and you kind of have to conform to those things.
Who comes up with the curriculum?
The
board of education,
the coordinator of, you know, writing 1 or writing 2 or whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they pick the book and everything, and you have to do.
I mean, but when you're a college professor, though, that changes. Though you can come up with your own thing, right?
You can sort of do it.
So-
Like I've had like some readings here or there for some of the classes, but for the most part, you know, I was teaching what somebody else wanted me to teach.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, you know, the students would be learning awesome shit, more worthwhile stuff, maybe.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I never knew that. Ever.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's cracked up to be. I spilled the beans.
But that, you know, that's awesome.
Spoiled it for everyone.
That's awesome. How, like.
I mean, maybe other, like higher division teachers are different. Like maybe the curriculum, like how they develop that's different. I don't know, but they do have a curriculum director. You know. So.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't know. Every teacher's different. You know, they put their own pizzazz in a class, just like every artist.
Well, so
it's the same.
So essentially, then they are really doing their thing, which is really cool. And yeah, no, that's and again, that gets into the whole encouragement thing with a lot of these people moving to, like Chris Oatley, moving to online education.
Oh, and
then it's 100%.
I do not like online at all.
Oh, I love
it. So you're so far removed from other humans, you can't really help people as much as you want to, and they don't get your devilish charm.
You're talking about the actual interaction with.
Yeah, you don't get that interaction with students at all, and you're not really teaching as much as you're facilitating a class or facilitating like a group. I don't even know.
I felt that with actually like practically all of the online education that I've ever had, like it's been good, real good.
Well, that's good. Maybe it's just in my experience. I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm doing a lot.
Yeah,
but you know, everybody's different.
I mean, and especially like my my last class at CIA. It was my first semester ever there, and I had an online art class, and the professor was perfect. You know, he was like on top of it. Once you emailed him, like it was awesome.
Oh.
And
I was like that too.
That's good because then right there, you're really engaging. In
But
my opinion,
you really have to be, you know, in like today's I want it now era.
And that's great that that a lot of professors, you know, like even like yourself too, that are like adapting to how things are working. You know, but that's you know, as a teacher, I would think that you would have to do that. You would have to constantly adapt to how things are working in the world to teach.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that and you know, same thing in the art world, right?
Yeah.
You have to, you know, make the
Transition.
switch to or the transition to
Traditional to digital as opposed to
you know, using a computer
mm-hmm.
versus using a pencil and paper, completely different.
Yeah, again,
Now. I mean, but now they have those magic pen things that you can use on the computer, right?
Oh, you're talking about
Magic Screen.
Yeah.
Magic Screen.
Yeah, Wacom products.
Mm-hmm.
Or just any actual tablet that you can use. But
right.
Yeah, I love the digital age, but you can't separate yourself from the traditional. You can't.
Yeah. Whenever I write in a notebook first, and then I type it up.
Yeah.
I never compose on a computer. I don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no organic feeling to it, and you have to have that feeling of creation. It makes us feel as gods. So where can people find you online, by the way?
Website, my own personal one, www.gilsonart.com.
Very cool. And can people buy things there?
They can't, but they can email me about it.
Okay.
Yes. I'm still in the works of
the next best thing.
Yeah, it's still in the works. But
yeah, you should start like selling prints online.
Yeah, absolutely. But also with
it's like I have this really cool print he did of us for us. It was we call it Brown Phillip because it looks like Black Phillip is a goat, but it's brown, so we call it Brown Phillip. And he's hanging in the bathroom, so anytime you taking a poo, you can watch Brown Phillip.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about my
your goat in a suit,
fancy animal that I did for the OA Academy.
Whatever. It's awesome. I love it.
One of the first ones
great.
I was super proud of.
But anyways, so you have your own website. Do you have you have a Twitter?
Yeah, I have a Twitter. It's Matthew T. Gilson, and then on Instagram. It's Matt Gilson, just MATGILSON.
Okay, and you put a lot of pictures on there?
Yes, that's where I'm most active.
Good. Oh, the most active, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then check him out on Instagram for show. You have Facebook too. You have a Facebook page for your art.
Not for my art, just for a personal page, which I still post on. It's that's just Matthew Gilson.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, awesome. I'm glad you got to be on the show. Finally, because I wanted to get this guy on here because he deserves to be. Like I said, you know, he designed my logo. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of that. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm super glad that you could come. And we will now return you to our regularly scheduled programming. Hi there, Professor Boyfriend here. Did you like the video? We hope you did. If so, please like it and share it with everybody you know and spread the gospel of Professor Boyfriend. Please subscribe. We need to hit at least 100 subscribers in order to have our own personalized YouTube channel. And please also click the bell on YouTube to get those notifications. That way, you get updated on whenever we post new material. The Patreon link is right below on the screen. Copy and paste it in your browser. Go to our Patreon and consider contributing. We would love that. Even if it's just $1 or $2. It really helps out. We would love you for it. Right, Pandu?